All right, Evan, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, it's October 7th, 2021. So getting this video out a little bit late here, had some obligations earlier, but looking at the SPY here, we can see we had a nice rally, so some follow through from the move yesterday. And you remember we talked about this wedge pattern, and we said, if the futures can get above that, then it can move higher. But if it can't, then it would go back down and probably test the lower end of this channel here. Obviously, we've gotten through that, and markets started off really strong. If we look on the intraday here, so it looked like we were going to have a big up day here. We had some nice buy volume here in the first hour or so, and then kind of just stalled out. Volume dried up, and then we saw some late day selling here into the end of the day, really across the board. IWM, Dow, and NASDAQ all giving back some gains. You see the semis here. We'll talk about them in a second, but I don't believe that this market has bottomed yet. And sentiment has gotten, I mean, it's amazing how quickly sentiment changes in this market. It's gotten pretty bullish pretty quickly here. But we gave back some of those gains, and that's part of the reason why I don't think this market's quite out of the woods yet. There was, you can call this profit taking if you want. But we're really only up a couple points here, really, from the bottom. I mean, 430 to 438 is not a huge move on the S&P. And if this was the bottom and institutions wanted to park their money there, they wouldn't be taking profits here. So that just just keep that in mind. And I keep hearing about this higher high that everybody's talking about. What higher high are you looking at? Because there isn't one. This is your most previous high. This is not a high. This was a flush down from the previous high. So you still have lower lows, right? One lower low. You took out this one, so you made your lower low, another lower low, a lower high. And now potentially, if you can get back above 444, 445, then yes, you have a higher high in place. And then you'd have a broadening pattern. But until that happens, we still have a potential lower high in place. And you can see that as we rejected the 50 MA here today. So again, we're going to kind of remain neutral on this market right now. I still think that there's probably a good short left, good short setup coming up here. Now let's talk about some reasons why. Look at the semis. You guys know I talk about them all the time. They had a nice pop this morning, got through this area, and I've been talking about this area for months now. That has been struggling with that 258.59 area, the previous all-time high. Each time it gets above that, it just can't hold those gains. And you can see today it rejected the 100 moving average and that level. Now, it doesn't mean it can't eventually trade up maybe to the 50 MA, but right now there is still some sellers there. And if this was a bottom, I think those sellers would get wiped out, and you'd see volume. By the way, the volume in this market was pretty dry today. And so whenever you have increasing price, decreasing volume, that tells you that there's not institutions participating. It's most likely retail and smaller day traders and so on. Also giving back gains today was the Dow Transports. Now, this wasn't a terrible move, but they were negative. So that's, something to watch for. We look for the Dow Transports, we look at the Russell, and we look at the semiconductors for clues here. And they definitely are telling us something, and it's not the most bullish picture here in the near term, in my opinion. Now, that doesn't mean this market can't move higher eventually, but I believe that we do have another leg down, possibly to that 200 moving average, before anything major happens in regards to another move up. So that's just kind of what I'm looking at there. By the way, the IWM today, Russell 2000, with the higher yield, so it was up 1.5%. And by the way, TNX had a monster day here. But Russell 2000 sold, as we look at the intraday here, it sold off really in the second half of the day, and yields did not back off. If we look at the TBT, just in the last 10 minutes, you had TBT selling off a little bit, but TNX was up all the way until the 3 o'clock close there. So Russell giving back a little bit of gains even with the higher yield. And you might ask, why are the Qs higher the last couple of days with the higher yield? The answer is you have this lower trend line here that I've been talking about, and it's just getting a technical bounce off of that. That's my theory anyway. So there's been a lot of talk about the Qs being up with the yield at the same time. To me, it's just a technical bounce. You see the same thing here on the IGV. This held its 100 moving average and had a nice bounce today. Cloud software has been strong. Also, Microsoft makes up a big part of this ETF, and Microsoft has been a strong name as well. So that is helping out the cloud software names as we look at Microsoft here. But let's move on. So where we could go possibly this weekend, I still think we have some upside bias. We have to give the market an upside bias right now over the next couple of days. Reason for that is we have a holiday coming up, and I believe that is the bond market that is closed on Monday, and the stock market will be open, but it's likely this is mainly a situation where Friday most of the institutions will be taking off by 11 a.m. to go to the Hamptons or wherever they want to go. And Monday will be a very light volume trading day. So tomorrow, which is Friday, and Monday, we probably give the market a bit of an upside bias. And that's just kind of the way things go. And then after that, we'll kind of reevaluate. But we are coming into another period here where you take a look at last year, we topped out on the 2nd of September when we sold off. Then we rallied up and we almost got back to all-time highs. And then we faded around the 10th, 12th of October. And we're getting into that wheelhouse right now. Today's the 7th. I believe Monday will be the 12th or 13th. Let's check that. Yeah, so the Monday is the 11th, sorry. But yeah, we're getting into that wheelhouse. So we could see another leg down, and I am expecting that, honestly. So that's something we're looking for. But in the meantime, the market can hold up. And let's just take a quick look at energy. So crude getting a nice pop today. So after the sell-off yesterday, getting some of those gains back. It is flat now in the after hours. It's about 8:30, so not really doing a whole lot. The major thing to watch here is the weekly time frame. If it sells off tomorrow and it closes below this, that would be a signal that we're probably having a fake breakout here. So just bear that in mind. But for right now, crude's holding up. And nat gas actually it sold off quite a bit yesterday, yesterday, but today had a nice bounce off of the 20 MA, and it is flat after hours. But that is a pretty big tail candle. So you've got, 3 tail candles out of the last 4 weeks on nat gas. So there are some sellers coming in on this. So just bear that in mind. But outside of that, energy is still holding up well. XLE just chopping, XOP same thing, and of course OIH doing the same as well. But outside of that, not too much going on across the board here. Again, the volume is starting to dry up a bit. Dollar also kind of chopping in this range as well. Again, I've told you that it's got to consolidate if it wants to get through 94.50. So that is what we're seeing right now. But anyways, guys, I'm going to end it here. You guys take care. I will talk to you tomorrow. All right, thanks.